Like I said, right? The arrogant person, the person that believes they can do no wrong. Women, you gotta run away from that man. Perfect. You can't waste your time with a man like that. You can't, but you can't be in a situation where you're like, I'm gonna train this man. I'm a change this man.
Nope.
No, you not. You're not gonna do a damn thing. You ain't gonna do that at all. Yo, what's good, everyone? It's Jamal Haki, not Jamal_Haki. Now, I haven't introduced this whole new thing that I've been doing, but if you see in the YouTube name, everything, it says Jamal Haki R&R, right? There's no more underscore. I went through this whole thing on the other channel, right? Again, Jamal Haki, right? Channel or channels, again, the whole brand dedicated to helping individuals unlock the will to conquer imagination. So, that's the whole thing that we got going on, and I'm still gonna continue that same thing here on this channel as well. Perfect. But we still gonna come with the reaction, the reviews, you name it. I got, I think 3 or 2 movie reviews I still have to do. Now I need to go through my notes to make sure I remember the things that I remember, but it's still some stuff that we gotta get out because there's some movies I watched and some stuff I've been watching. We gotta share those thoughts. So without further ado, we got a reaction video to a YouTuber by the name of, I think, Courtney Ryan. I first heard of her through a roommate's podcast episode. My fiance, she shared something with me. She was like, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, blah, blah, blah. I clicked on the link, saw it, and I was like, okay, she seems like an interesting person. You know, anybody that the roommates interview is always an interesting individual. They done did interviews with, was it Shane Booty or Bodie, however you say her name, Candace Owens, and then I know there was like a little bit of stuff between them two. Of course, her. They done interviews with Robert Greene and the law of 48 powers, something like that. I'm messing up the title of the book. Patrick Bet-David, AMS, Alpha Man Strategies for people who don't know. Again, I'm kind of somewhat RP aware, things of the nature. So if I come off and saying certain things, then you know. And I don't need to go down the rabbit hole, all the stuff the roommates have did. But at the end of the day, this video is a Courtney Ryan video. I'm going to be reacting to 5 personality traits women find unattractive in men. So, as she stated in the title, stop doing it.
Or stop it.
But if it's really unattractive, let's really see if it's unattractive. Like, is it data that she collected from other women she talked to and they said this was unattractive? Or is this just unattractive to her? Let's figure it out, okay? At the end of the day, that's what we go do over here on this channel. We go get to the information. Let's go ahead and go into the video.
Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and today I'm going to be going over the 5 most unattractive traits in men, and honestly, these are just as unattractive in women, so if you see these early on, it's a huge red flag. So I've done videos all about what makes you irresistible
Wait. She said these are unattractive in men, and she said also in women? Hold on, let's run that back.
Honestly, these are just as unattractive in women. So
okay, so the main thing is unattracted in men, but she said honestly they're also unattracted in women as well. So interesting. So she keeping the same energy with women as well. Okay.
You see these early on, it's a huge red flag. So I've done videos.
No. We ain't doing the glitchy.
Flag. So I've done videos all about what makes you irresistible physically and mentally, and so now I think it's time to take a look at the flip side.
What makes you
and
irresistible?
Understand what makes you unattractive. So this video is not going to be about physical traits that make you unattractive. I think that's very surface level and can only get you so far. And ultimately, if you're ugly on the inside, that is when you have a real problem. So this video more specifically is going to be about character traits or personality traits that I think are the absolute most unattractive things that you can be.
Let's hear it.
Looks fade, but if you're ugly on the inside, rest in peace. One, we have a lack of empathy. So if you're a person who is very empathetic, you're compassionate towards other people, that is a very highly desirable character trait to have. People are going to be drawn to you. They're going to feel comfortable around you.
I don't know how to feel
like
it
they
is.
can tell you things without you judging them. So the opposite of that is unattractive. So a lot of the time, people who lack empathy or compassion are often
I don't know how to feel about this.
And I think that's when it becomes the most unattractive.
Wait a minute. She said people who lack empathy are typically judgment. Oh, okay. Technically, by virtue of the definition of empathy, yes. I get what she's saying. I think in my situation, me personally, I can't speak for other men, I'm not a judgmental person. See, we're not judgmental. We're just realistic. We like to be real and honest and blunt. But that doesn't mean you're judgmental either. So I would say for me, I do display and express a level of empathy, but that's not my go-to, because men are more logical and reason based, and then they go into the emotional side, feelings based. They answer things and address things with logic and reason first. That's the approach. Then feelings. So the complete lack of empathy, yes, that's not good. So to have some level of empathy. But that to allow that to be your opener as a man, I wouldn't coach men on doing that. I wouldn't teach men to do that personally. Nope. Because when you're strong in your approach, when you're alpha, or when you're being a support system, a pillar, yes, there is a level of empathy that goes along with it. But you have to be strong in. Basically, you have to be the pillar, right? The pillar ain't worried about being empathetic. The pillar is worried about support. How we gonna get through this situation? What do we need to do? I'm gonna help you get out the hole, which is, yes, it's the empathy part. But I'm gonna put this ladder down, and you're like, hey, you're gonna have to get out the hole too. You have to put in work.
Attractive.
That's being realistic.
Honest, the narcissistic, egocentric people are the worst to be around, and I think those type of people often fall in the lack of empathy category. I guess a better title for this one could be narcissist, because I think narcissists often have a lack of empathy, a lack of compassion. They're very judgmental. They only care about themselves. They talk about themselves.
By the way, she's correct in terms of when she's explaining and breaking down like a person who's like narcissist and the characteristics that goes along with it. However, I don't like using the word because it's like shame language, or people can use it to like do like ad hominem attacks towards people when they don't really know how to label or describe a person. They'll say, hey, this person was narcissistic, or I was in a toxic relationship where the person was X, Y, and Z. But you're misusing the word, because someone who's actually narcissistic, that's an actual personality disorder. That's something where someone is diagnosed. You just can't be out here calling people narcissists just because they display things that coincide or align with someone who is a literal narcissist. We have to be real here. So I personally wouldn't use language like what she's using, but I get what she's saying.
24/7, and it's just really gross. So a person who is just so engulfed with their own ego that they don't see anything else but themselves is one of the worst type of people to be around. Number 2, we have insecurity. And I want to start by saying, I know that we all have insecurities.
Hey, an insecure man, it's the difference between an insecure woman versus an insecure man. An insecure man, now you're getting like in that beta. You're more beta-like, right? A woman is not, it's only going to deal with that man temporarily. And she will find you unattractive, and she will leave. You sitting there crying on her shoulder, complaining all the time. You insecure, comparing yourself to other men, trying to size you. That's not going to work for the relationship. And she going to leave you. Period.
Think I'm playing?
I'm a very confident, secure person, and even I sometimes feel a little bit insecure about things. It's natural as a human to feel that way. However, it becomes a problem when those insecurities start to run your life, and it really can be the root of evil. And not only does this affect you and your life, but it also affects the people in your life and the people that you're surrounding yourself with. And that is when it becomes an even bigger issue for your relationships, for the growth of your relationships, and really just how healthy you are in general. And we all know one of the main things that stems from insecurity is jealousy, and jealousy is one of the biggest turnoffs on the planet for men.
It really
and
is.
women. Jealousy does not look good on anyone, especially in excess. Some people will argue that
jealousy is ugly.
Jealousy in a relationship is normal, and I'm sorry, but I've been there and I would never want to be there again. I do not want to be in a relationship where anyone is jealous. If you're in a healthy relationship, there should be no reason for anyone to be jealous, especially in excess. I think it also is important to understand.
Yeah, jealousy, period, is ugly. Now, depending on who you talking to, if you talking to men, right? Let's say you running I may be butchering this because I don't want to butcher this too much. But what's it called? Like dread game? If you're running dread game on a female, that may be your goal or what you're trying to do. So let's say, for instance, you may not. I like the things where you're not intentionally doing something. You're just being you, and it happens. So you just being you. You're being awesome. You're being confident. You're not flirting with anyone. You're not doing anything. And then you out at a restaurant, and then a waitress hits on you. I didn't ask for that. You didn't ask for that. It just happened. But that's, to some degree, a little bit of, that's like dread game. You're not running it. It just happened by default. It happened just by purely existing. So that can happen. As someone said before, competition anxiety. That's another thing. Some things can happen like that. And I'm going to be real. We like to be blunt over here. Those things work in the favor of a man. But jealousy in itself, you don't want that. It's not like you desire jealousy. But it also can, you get what I'm saying? Those things can work in your favor, and it also cannot work in your favor, because then you're dealing with a woman that's constantly jealous, and that's not good conversations. That's not good communication. That's not a good connection. You're going to be fighting with your woman. There's no peace. You don't want to fight with your woman. You want to live in peace.
Of course, of course.
And where your jealousy is coming from. So if you're with someone who's given you a reason to feel jealous, say they've cheated on you, or they've lied to you, or manipulated you, then okay, it makes sense that you would feel jealous or insecure. But if no one has given you a reason,
at that point, I'm gonna be real with you. Just leave the relationship. If a man cheated and you feeling jealous, or a man is manipulating you and you're feeling jealous or whatever, just leave. That's not for a woman shouldn't be in a relationship with a man that, it shouldn't work. That relationship don't work. It's diminishing returns. That woman doesn't trust the man because of all the things that happen. And at the end of the day, that woman will be wasting her time being in that relationship. When she's in her prime, she has to spend her precious prime time finding a man that she can retain. That man is wasting that woman's time. And on top of that, that man is wasting his time. Just be better. Men, women, both be better. Period. Just be better.
Those things, and it's just coming from your past or an insecurity in yourself, then it's important to be able to pinpoint that. Jealousy and insecurity will absolutely ruin your life if you let it. So I think it's really important to understand where it's coming from and why.
It ages
and really
people.
Get a grip on it, because
Stresses
it's not doing
people.
you or anybody any favors, and often makes you very controlling, which nobody would want to be with. Number 3, we have laziness. This could be laziness mentally, physically, emotionally.
Laziness is a big one.
I think it's not a good
That's
thing
unattractive.
in any aspect of your life, but especially not if you're trying to attract a partner. If you want something, you simply have to work for it, and someone who is...
See, here's the thing. There's a difference between a lazy woman and a lazy man, right? You think about it. Men built the world we live in for the most part, right? If women are not gonna literally commit to a lazy man, it just doesn't work. Again, if the man is meant to be a pillar, imagine a pillar. There's a difference between a pillar that's strong, sturdy, can hold up a building for millions of years versus a lazy and weak pillar that's literally like can crumble at any time with a gust of wind blowing by. Who wants to deal with that? No one.
Nope.
Who's lazy is, in my eyes, one of the most unattractive people on the planet. This could be in regards to your career, your relationships, yourself, your body, whatever it is. If you're lazy, you will not succeed. And the reason why this is so unattractive when you're looking for a partner is because if that other person can't even take care of their own self, how the heck are they supposed to be a good partner to you?
Exactly.
Women specifically want to be with someone who is motivated, who is driven, ambitious, has goals and passions. If you don't have those things, it's really hard for you to be a good partner because you're often unfulfilled as well. So I think it's very important to have good habits and discipline that help you achieve the things you want to get to in life. And often someone who is lazy does not have that. The good thing though,
the other thing we have to add in is super important, right? So she's talking about from a woman's perspective of what a woman finds attractive in a man. But I don't know if she's gonna say this yet, but this is super important. That sometimes people look for things in a man that they are not, because they're looking for someone to complete them, and that is wrong. Because then you put yourself in a codependency situation. You're literally dependent on the individual to then complete you. So someone may be looking for someone, or someone may find a man that's lazy, unattractive, because they're looking for a person that is ambitious. They're looking for a person that's ambitious and goal-oriented, because maybe they're not someone that's ambitious and goal-oriented, and it's someone that can help them carry them to the finish line. That's not the way to go. You got to be confident in yourself to be able to. You got to be, put it like this. You're going to attract who you are. Ultimately, for the most part, people are going to attract who they are, but you can be able to put yourself in a situation where you can attract better and more, right? Women typically hypergamous mindset. They want what is better for them. Someone who's taller than them, someone who makes more money than them, someone who's more confident than them, someone who's more this, and that. The hypergamous mindset, right? Rooted in survival, rooted for looking for what is best for them, what is best for well-being.
Oh, is that so?
Right? We get it.
Is that if you're lazy now and you know that, you don't have to be lazy forever. This is something that with some daily habit changes, some good discipline and good habits, you can change this about yourself and make yourself a more productive, motivated, and driven person. So all it takes is a little bit of work, some changes to your daily routine, and a good quote that I want to share with you guys is, your success is hidden in your daily routine. And I think that is so incredibly true. I did a video all about how to be more productive. So if you're someone who is really struggling with this right now, I would highly recommend checking out that video. I think it would be very helpful for all of you. Another point that I want to talk about here is making excuses. You know a person like this. I know a person like this. I think we all know a person who, if they don't get something done, they don't do something they said they were going to do, they are always ready to make up some sort of excuse for it. Of course, there are exceptions to everything, and I totally understand that, but I think a lot of the time, people...
Exceptions does not adhere to reality. I repeat, exceptions does not adhere to reality. Shouts out to Myron Gaines and Fresh from the Fresh and Fit podcast.
Are really good at justifying why they didn't do something instead of just doing it. So making excuses doesn't really hurt anyone but yourself, but I think it can also be a huge repellent and red flag for attracting a future partner. When you think about the qualities that you want your future partner to have, I guarantee that being lazy is not on the list. So you have to be able to understand that someone else isn't going to want that in their partner either. So if you know this about yourself, you know that you're lazy, you got to figure out a way to get out of it, because it's really going to hurt you in the long run.
She just said it.
And it's going to make you a lot less attractive. And I know that our lives should not be based around being attractive to people. I think you need to do things that make you happy as well. But I think that lazy people often aren't happy and they feel unfulfilled. I think a really good little exercise is to look at yourself and your patterns and your behaviors and think to yourself and be very honest.
Accountability.
Would I date myself? Do I have qualities that would...
So all the things that she's getting to right now, I like how she circled back. She starts with the men first, because that's what the video is about. It's about what's unattractive in men. But she also holds women accountable because she say, this is also unattractive in women, and you just can't go out fishing for men or fishing for someone, and you ain't even putting in the work yourself. So basically, she's saying things to, you can sum it up, hold yourself accountable. Women have to be able to hold themselves accountable. A lot of times, from things that I hear, they lead with things that are wrong with the men first, and then they'll maybe potentially say something wrong with themselves. No, we have to hold ourselves accountable first.
Perfect.
We start with ourselves first, and in terms of what's the problem, and then we move on from there.
Make me a good partner.
Remove the log from your own eye before you worry about removing the speck from someone else's. Simple.
And if the answer is no, then you have to figure out ways to improve that. Because I'm going to be honest and tell you, laziness is not on the list of things that I would want in a partner ever. And I wouldn't want my partner to think that about me. So huge turnoff, huge red flag. It's one of the biggest turnoffs in the world, in my opinion.
Of course.
Number 4, we have arrogance. And I think sometimes in the beginning, arrogance can sometimes be mistaken for confidence, and it gets people a little bit further in the beginning than it does in the end. So I think your true colors always come through, and it's very obvious at a certain point that the confidence is not really confidence, and it's cockiness, and it's a huge turnoff. This one is kind of similar to number 1, the narcissist, lack of empathy person. I think a person who is very arrogant is often that way as well. This is just the person who is...
I believe a person is probably arrogant, lacks accountability. Because when you're arrogant, you're putting yourself in a position where you're so ahead. You're in this top position to the point where you're not at fault for anything. You're faultless. You're perfect. You're blameless. And that's where like arrogance can kind of come in. And again, how she mentioned with the narcissistic like things. Again, I don't personally, once again, use that word. I don't like to again, me being in mental health in terms of the field that I'm in, I don't like to willingly throw out things that don't apply to a person unless it's like unless the person was truly diagnosed with it. I don't like things like that, because I grew up with words that were labeled upon me that didn't even apply. People were just saying things that didn't even make sense, which was like, where did you get that from? Where did you learn that from? Who told you that?
Or stop it.
Cocky about everything, who brags about everything, who talks about themselves 24/7, and who is not open-minded. And I think that's a big one here. Someone
As I said, not open-minded, right?
I
said that right.
Or they have everything, so there's no room to learn or grow. And I think that's really unattractive in a partner.
As I said,
seeing that a person is open-minded and willing to grow and evolve over time and really be the best version of themselves is highly desirable when you're looking for a future partner. So if you see someone who doesn't have any of those things, and actually the opposite, where they think they already know everything, they think they're better than you, they're bragging all the time, talking about themselves all the time, and think that they are just the bee's knees and have no room for improvement or growth, is really just a bummer to be around. I'm sure you guys all know someone like this. It's the person who thinks that they can do no wrong, who points...
Like I said, right? The arrogant person, the person that believes they can do no wrong. Women, you got to run away from that man.
Perfect.
You can't waste your time with a man like that. You can't, but you can't be in a situation where you're like, I'm gonna train this man. I'm a change this man.
Nope.
No, you not. You're not gonna do a damn thing. You ain't gonna do that at all.
No, you ain't.
If anything, you gonna waste your time.
All the time, who thinks that they are legitimately always right. And I hate to burst your bubble or break it to you, but you're not always right. Number 5, last on my list, we have unreliability. So when I think of a person like this, I often think of someone who is late to everything, or who cancels, or who flakes at the last minute. So this might not be that big of a deal if you're someone who's just looking for hookups or very quick flings or something like that, because you can send that 10 p.m. you up text and the girl will probably reply to you.
Was it you up, or what's up, big head?
You gonna make me act up. You gonna make me do something I'm gonna regret.
It is send the text message. That's crazy. That's nuts.
But if you're someone who's looking for a meaningful relationship, or just any sort of relationship in general, it's important to be someone who commits, someone who follows through, and someone whose actions match their words. And honestly,
punctual.
just a person who cares about how you affect other people. There's nothing worse than someone who is running super late to everything, or who cancels last minute, or who flakes at the last second. Like, it's just very disrespectful to be someone that is like that. And I know that sometimes things come up last minute, or, you know, things happen and not everything works out the way that you necessarily planned for it to go. But someone who consistently does this and just has no regard for other people, other people's time or effort, just really rubs me the wrong way. So in one of the attractive qualities videos I did, I mentioned that being a man of integrity is incredibly attractive, and being a man of your word, sticking to your word and making sure that your actions match what you say,
super important,
is one of the most important things in life, but especially in a romantic relationship.
Because at the end of the day, when you're a man of your word, when you're a man on your purpose, right? Men going their own way, MGTOW, what? I'm not saying I'm that, but, you know, the women is going to get on your program.
Perfect.
Simple as that. It's less higher value man than it is cute women or attractive women. Let's just say that. It's less higher value men than it is attractive females in this world.
Perfect.
Let's just keep it a beam. We keeping it a stack, right? So that means that the more that female becomes aware that, she's more likely to get on that higher value man's program. Now, higher value doesn't mean, just because you got money doesn't mean you higher value. We talking about the thing that goes into what makes you a valuable person, right? Your network of people that you're surrounded by, which is also a great identifier to make someone higher value. The value that you bring to society, to your company, or whatever, you got your own business, you name it.
Perfect.
How you think, your mindset. It's more to it than just your money, right? But the money thing is an important factor as well. So we can go down this rabbit hole, but we don't have to do this in this conversation right now.
Your partner should feel like they can count on you and rely on you.
Trust.
Not for necessarily everything in their life.
The woman has to trust you.
Partner for them. It's important to be a man of your word.
And another thing, that in order for that woman to follow your leadership, that woman has to respect and trust you. Because if that woman doesn't respect and trust you, she will not follow your leadership. She will not follow your lead. She does not see you as a superior. Simple as that.
And have integrity, and if you're someone who's unreliable, chances are that's not you. That's not you. So understand that your actions affect the people around you, and you are not the center of the universe.
Oh, I was doing that glitchy thing. Hold on, y'all.
The center of the universe.
There we
And
go.
to be honest, I think a lot of the qualities on this list boil down to someone who is very narcissistic, who doesn't care about
She
other people.
keeps saying
and
this
who is
word
only worried about
narcissistic, man. I
themselves
don't like it.
24/7. And I think sometimes it is important to be selfish and
It's
put
all good.
yourself first, and understand that the most important relationship you have is the one that you have with yourself. But a lot of times, the people
True.
who have the
Most
qualities on
important.
this list don't even have a good relationship with themselves. You can be the most attractive person on the planet, but
Hey, you attacking people with that one. You attacking people. Let's rewind that one. Hold on.
have a good relationship with themselves. But a lot of times, the people who have the qualities on this list don't even have a good relationship with themselves. You can be the most
I like that. So again, that goes for both men and women. People who have those qualities, she said most likely, I'm going to say 10 out of 10. If you have those qualities, you do not have a good relationship with yourself. She's trying to be more nice about it. I'm just going to be blunt about it. You do not have a good relationship with yourself if you have any of those qualities.
Nope.
attractive person on the
It's not
planet,
possible.
But if you have any of these character traits, there's something that's not right inside. And I think that's way more important than anything on the outside. You know, I'm going to be honest with you guys and tell you, I've told you guys in past
Be
videos
honest.
before, looks matter to an extent. Looks are great for physical attraction and building that initial attraction with someone, but they only get you so far. And a lot of times, guys will be handsome or women will be so beautiful and they have nothing going on in here or here, and their beauty only gets them so far. So you really have to make sure that you're working on your personal development, that you have a personality, that you have good character, because looks fade, but what is on the inside lasts forever. And you don't want to be known as the person who looks great on the outside but absolutely sucks and is a dud on the inside. The great thing though is that you can change all of these things about yourself. You can always be a better person. You can always be better tomorrow than you were yesterday, and it's a work in progress. None of us are perfect, and these are things that we have to actively actively work on. But that's the great thing about all of these things, is that you can constantly work on them and improve, especially if you see yourself doing these things and you're self-aware enough to know,
I like this.
Okay, maybe I wasn't the best in that situation, or maybe sometimes I do have a lack of empathy for other people. What can I do to make it better? So after watching this video, you're realizing that you do some of these things. It's okay. You have to start somewhere, and don't beat yourself up too much about it. All you can do is try to be better. So the biggest takeaway I want you guys to get from this video is that if you want to be in a healthy, happy relationship, looks are only going to get you so far, and you really have to work on what's on the inside too. And at the end of the day, that is the most important thing. So,
But wait!
So that's pretty much it for the video. If you liked it, like, leave some in the comment section. I definitely want to hear more about what y'all got, thoughts that y'all have going on in y'all head. If you have anything that you want to add, hell, I mean, she said 5 things that's unattractive in men. If for any females that's watching this, do you find anything unattractive in men that she didn't say? Do you agree with the video? Do you disagree? I would love to hear some thoughts. And for the men, do you agree? Do you disagree? What are some things that you find unattractive in females that you've dealt with? I think this is an important conversation to have for like the inner dynamics of the genders that we have going on, right? Male, female, right? We need to come together, not in terms of like a egalitarian type way, but to have a better understanding for who we are as individuals and what we bring to the table. Instead of focus on like being equal, because yes, we are equal to some degree, but then we start getting into a conversation of advantages and disadvantages that certain genders have. And we're not trying to have that conversation now on this video.
Nope.
So I did do a podcast episode where my fiance and I, we talked about gender equality, or inequality for that matter. What we discussed about advantages, disadvantages, and from our personal experience, what certain genders go through and what things that we've seen with our personal eye, right? Our vision, our perspective on certain situations. So that's pretty much it for the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Hit the bell to be notified. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you check out the affiliate links down below. Again, we're going with the Jamal Haki brand, not Jamal_Haki. So again, Jamal Haki, channel dedicated to helping individuals unlock the will to conquer imagination, right? We still carrying that over here on this channel as well. And if you really rock with the channel, you like the content, you support the content, you want to better yourself, then we can indeed help turn the you that's you to something that's more valuable. So that's pretty much it. So until then, peace out.
I'm at the top of my game. It's only Christ to blame. We know the reason you came. Diamonds and dollars and chains. How about you? Sit back. I got this. Relax. Who said I changed up? Yeah, cause I said I'ma need racks.